Hey, welcome back. Out here taking some test shots with my new Scout X. I've had it for probably a month and haven't taken time to shoot it. And if you like the other Scouts, you won't go wrong getting one of these, because it's got some features that the others don't have. I've got both the original XT and the LT. You got a fiber optic sight here in the center, and I'm shooting TTF. And you also got another one up here if you want to change it around. It's got integrated clips, which I like. Makes the frame the same. It's just blends right together. And it's a 100 mil outer like the original XT, which I like, because when I started, a lot of frames were like that. And I started learning, as I've told y'all different times, anchoring with a thumb to the corner of the mouth. So this one fits right in there for me. And I'm not a big guy, but I wear a large to extra large glove depending on what kind they are, and it's just a good hold. And if you don't have one of these and you're collecting Scouts, or you just like the way they shoot in general, I'd highly recommend the X. And I hopped over to Cam Vandal's YouTube channel, and he's got a link there, and it's easy to access Simple Shot from there. Plus it'll help a brother out just a little bit, and I'm sure he appreciate that. But today is April the 1st, and some of you folks know what that means, so I'm going to tell you a little fish story. My children were smaller. We were down here at Cherokee Lake fishing, and we were doing pretty good. My son hooked what he thought was a big one, and he'd reel it in so far and he'd quit, and he'd flip the bell over and let it run back out, because he thought maybe it was hung around a branch or something in the water, and it'd get freed up and he'd reel it and it would stop. And he said, "I'm hung up, but I think I got a fish on the line." I said, "Well, you got your shorts on. Just jump in there and unhook it." He said, "I'm not jumping in there." And daughter's there too. "How about you?" I said, "Nah, I'm not going in there. It's his problem. It's his fish." And he said, "Why don't you jump in?" I said, "Well, I don't want to get wet. I got my billfold. I will hold the billfold, and you can take off your shoes." So I got down to my short pants there and jumped in. And I told him to keep working on it so I could kind of tell where everything was at under there. So I dived in and got down there and followed his line up to where he was getting hung. So I saw what was happening, and I said, "This is not going to work." So I come back up and I said, "Son, you might as well cut the line." And he said, "Why is that?" And I said, "Well, you've caught a huge catfish." And I said, "There's an old door down there leaned up against a tree stump, and he swam right through it." And he said, "Well, can't you pull it through it?" I said, I tried. And I said, you give it some slack and he'd keep going. I said, and you pull it up and try to pull him through it, and every time you think you got him, he roll the window up." Appreciate y'all stopping by. Everybody stay safe out there, and I'll catch you next time.